Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you've come back, hello and thank you for sticking with me and tuning in again today. If it's your first time, welcome. I didn't record a video yesterday. I don't know, I got busy, I got sidetracked, and then not only that, I was contemplating or thinking about doing a video after the whole Mike Brown incident. They reached a decision, the grand jury reached their decision, which, let me just say, like most of you, I wasn't really surprised by the outcome. Part of me wanted, I still had just a little bit of hope, because I really was hoping for something different this time. I watched CNN and, watched news and different commentaries and things like that. And, during the night last night, and finally I just had to, just shut it off, because, not only was I starting to get in my feelings and in my emotions, but I felt fear. I felt fear coming in. Most of you who know me know that I have a 17-year-old son, and I moved from Atlanta to Jacksonville, Florida, where Jordan Davis, was shot and killed since, I actually moved here the same year that happened. And then, the whole Trayvon Martin situation, and, I moved to Florida, and at that time my son was 16, he's 17 now. And, I can only imagine, what it feels like to for a parent to lose a child, the outrage, the anger, the frustration, when you see your child's killer just walk away, and, maybe life won't be the same for them, but they still have life, and your child doesn't. Your child is no longer here. So, while I don't agree with the violent protests, the rioting, the tearing up the neighborhood, I don't agree. I think sometimes, when we're angry, when we're hurt, we get caught up in, our emotions, and we just we want someone else to feel our pain and our frustration, and I get that. But I'm also reminded, as a Christian, that, God hasn't given us a spirit of fear, and I think, the media, social media, all these different things, we're looking at and we're reading, all these things, and we're constantly tuned in to what's happening now and what's going on now. It tends to create, I don't know about you, but for me, it creates fear. I'm always worried, about my son, like, oh, where are you going? But I have to remember that, whenever he leaves the house or he goes out, what are you doing? Where are you going? And when are you coming back? And don't wear that, and don't do this. And, just all this fear and emotion gets built up inside of me. And, like I said, as a Christian, I have to remember that God has not given me a spirit of fear. But what he has given me is love, power, and a sound mind. So, I have to remember that, it's important, and I'll say this on my channel, and if you don't like this, then go ahead and click the stop button, stop, whatever. You don't have to listen to it. But, basically, how can I say this? And I actually kind of wrote down my thoughts and what I was going to say and all of that. But somehow I always end up going in a different direction. But basically what I am oftentimes reminded of when I get that is that, one, God did not give me fear. Two, I trust God to cover my child. I pray for him every single day, not just when he, is out, maybe out with friends or at school. And God knows we have to pray for them even when they're at school now that they're covered and they're protected. But, I have to say, you know what, God, I can't pray and worry. I realize that the enemy uses our emotions to get us all wrapped up in, things, and we think, oh, this and that. I live in Florida, and a lot of my friends are like, I'm not moving to Florida. I'm like, let me tell you something. It doesn't matter. This world is full of all kinds of evil and craziness. If we're Christians, we have to know that we can't take for granted, even when he comes home at night and we're inside of our house and everything is well, and we're in for the night and we're laying in our beds, I'm still thanking God even then. Lord, thank you for protecting him. Protect us while we're sleeping. We cannot take for granted, nothing for granted in this world today concerning our children. The other thing is that it has challenged me as an individual to say, you know what, and to question myself, to check myself and say, well, Yolanda, what are you doing? What could be done differently by you? I'm challenging myself, and I challenge you. After a while, a few days pass, something else is going on. This will die down and it'll be almost like this didn't happen. And I know that isn't the case for everyone. I realize that there are freedom fighters out there. There are revolutionaries that are fighting a good fight. And there are people who are doing, peaceful protests, and that are really involved in the communities out there, and that are just really doing some really great things for the Black community out there. And that's awesome. That's awesome. But I challenge myself, me, to get out and to do more. This has opened my eyes. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but he has given